What is up, guys? Bobo here with BrassReel Brothers. Thanks for coming back with some more popcorn. Joining me on my YouTube channel, we got a little BrassReel tonight or BrassReel today. Been thinking about coming back for some more weekly streams during the day, and instead of focusing on news, like a ton of topics, maybe just focusing on one or two topics, making it a little easier for me to get other things accomplished. So I'm thinking about doing like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and calling it that, or maybe doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, calling it that, so we'll see. But thank you guys for joining me so much. And boy, got some crazy Shiite militia to talk about today. I already got a comment in the comment section here. Oh, my boy Maniac here. What up? Cool. Thanks for joining, brother. Appreciate you. So, also, I just want to say real quick, you can hear that little echo because I had this little thing ready to go. I'm trying to mess around with some fun here, but I just want to say one thing.
Ezra Miller, what are you doing?
You know what I'm saying? Dude, you have surprised me once again. I don't want to, first off, let me just say, I'm trying to be a director and I'm trying to like become a filmmaker at some point. And hopefully one day I'll be able to work with people on this level and in this caliber of the industry. So I don't want to say anything negative about anybody individually before knowing all the facts, because I don't know all the facts. I don't know what's going on. I don't think any of us know all the facts, because the truth of the matter is Ezra Miller can't be found. People are literally looking for this guy because of his apparent involvement with this girl named Dakota Iron Eyes, not Dakota, Dakota, like with a T. So I'm going to get into that here in a second. But first and foremost, I'm just going to, let me see here. I got a comment from Maniac, my boy. He says he knows nothing. Okay, no, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start from the beginning. So let me just share something with you guys real quick. Of course, as soon as I get on, I start having something in my throat. But that'll subside. So I'm going to do something right here and switch to this screen like this. So there's old Ezra. Now, you guys may have been aware of some of the stuff with Ezra in his past. There was a thing a couple years ago with him hitting or like attacking that drunk girl. I think they were in Ireland or England or London, somewhere, but he like choked her outside of this bar to the ground. But then it came out later that it was like a joke. But she was cool with it. They even posted a video together. And then he had some other things that came up, and we'll talk about that in this article. But basically, I'm going to scroll down and let you guys, oh, shoot. Let me get back out of that. Hang on. Of course, I get this all, oh, man. All right, hang on. Give me 1 second. We're going to get right back to it. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to read it out loud for you guys, and if you want to check in with it, sweet. That's cool, too. The Flash star Ezra Miller is reportedly hiding from court papers related to grooming accusations leveled against them. Vanity Fair recently reported that Chase Iron Eyes and Sarah Jumping Eagle, and these are people that are part of a Native American tribe and like a community, they were granted a protective order against Miller on behalf of their 18-year-old daughter. However, law enforcement officials haven't been able to pin the actor down. Miller moves around so much that we're stuck in this legal limbo situation and we can't serve them any place they're in long enough. Chase Iron Eyes said they've been fighting, they've been avoiding service, and now there's public pressure mounting on them to make a decision, which makes us very concerned about Ezra's volatile nature. I'm going to scroll down and read some of this other stuff here so I can. The grooming allegations against Ezra Miller first surfaced in June 2022 after court documents filed by Chase Iron Eyes and Sarah Jumping Eagle were made public. These documents claim that Miller has taken advantage of the couple's child, Dakota Iron Eyes, from the age of 12 through cult-like and physiological manipulative, controlling behavior. After the news broke, Dakota posted her own message on Instagram defending Ezra Miller, dismissing their parents' concerns and describing their father as transphobic in response to Dakota's parents questioning the authenticity of the message, insisting that their child doesn't own a phone. Now, a little bit more here, just so I can kind of get this. Grooming accusations are only the latest in a string of legal troubles Miller has faced in 2022. In March, the star was charged with disorderly conduct and harassment over an incident at a bar in Hilo, Hawaii. Oh, that I guess that was something recent, actually. That was him getting in a fight or something like that with some other people. And from what I've understood about that situation, is that there's been more that came to light that doesn't necessarily highlight that it was actually all his fault. So that's fine. Like I said, I don't want to pass judgment on anyone. But then the following month, he was arrested in Hawaii again after they allegedly assaulted, and saying they, referring to Ezra Miller, who he associates with pronouns there, them and they pronouns now. That's how he associates themselves. I'm sorry, I want to make sure I say it correctly. So they were arrested, allegedly assaulted somehow at this house party. Apparently, they were going inside of a couple's bedroom while they were asleep or something, and Miller kind of was taking pictures of them or something. I don't know if taking pictures, but like kind of like looking at them, spying or something. So more recently, music producer Oliver Ignatius and rapper Chris Guevara claimed that Miller stole music that they had collaborated on together. The duo confirmed that they intend to take Miller to court over the matter. So, all right, I'm going to bounce back from that, and we'll get back to some of that specific article stuff there in a second. But boy, I mean, that is so he's got a lot of baggage going on with him. He's not just a normal guy to work with in Hollywood, from what I understand, too. He's kind of eccentric. And I don't want to say anything wrong about that, because I'm a kind of guy that likes people being eccentric in Hollywood. I like people to be crazy and out there. I support people wearing awesome, crazy, risky fashion things. And with that being said, I'm going to, like point to Miller. When I first saw Miller back in the day, this is what they looked like. More like this. And then they start looking like this a little bit, which is cool. I actually like it when people do things like this. I think that there's something cool about that. It's a little daring. It's expressive. It's artistic, because I'm a believer that like there's very much such thing as living art. It doesn't have to necessarily be something that's on a film or on a photo or drawn or painted. There's definitely such thing as living art. And I appreciate Ezra doing things like this. Like I find it very entertaining. I find it interesting. So none of these things, the way they present themselves in the public eye at certain things, like this right here was at a costume gala. Like this was actually, people were dressed up like this as well. So this wasn't out of place for him at this point, but very creative, very cool, and still can be this handsome person that you're like, oh, wow, look at that. Now, let me get to some of these comments real fast. But I just wanted to say, I'm highlighting all those pictures because that was a side of Ezra that I was really loving about this actor on his own. And I'm not trying to get so much involved into Ezra's personal life outside of their roles, but this is affecting what I love, the DC universe. And it's very much slowing down a lot of progress. And so is Amber Heard, for that matter. And that's a whole other video I probably could do, but yeah, I mean, I got plenty of time on that one. She was all over NBC this morning. It was hilarious. God, I mean, Savannah was just asking her all these questions, and man, dude, I don't know, because I wasn't there, but she does not look like she's telling the truth. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Let me look at some comments here. Yeah. So as Maniac says, he has gone another Allison Mack route. So that's what they're kind of claiming. The parents are worried about him sort of having cult behavior. And what is confusing to me about this is Ezra's got a great career. Has had a really good choice of roles put in front of them, and they've done some cool stuff. Obviously, we've got Flash, which I think Ezra's a great Flash. I love Ezra's representation of Flash. I think it worked. I think it worked for the Barry Allen character. Some people don't agree with me, but I think it worked. Then you got playing young Snape in the Fantastic Beasts movies, which are prequels to the Harry Potter films. And honestly, perfect casting for that. Ezra is literally, I see a young Snape when I see those movies. I see a young Alan Rickman. So what are you doing, Ezra? Running from the police? You know what I'm saying? Like, can anybody agree with me like that? Like, what do you think the outcome? And I'm not trying to coattail off of what John Campea was saying the other day, but I was thinking this exact thing before I heard John Campea talk about it. And yeah, that's right. I listened to John Campea. He's very informative. He knows his shit. Let me get this comment, but yeah, it's like, what do you think's gonna happen after this all goes down? Like, you're not only are you sort of tainting your career, your reputation, and doing it all on your own merit, and sort of acting really weird and awkward in a lot of spots in your past. I mean, multiple times. But I mean, you're hurting things for the franchise. You're hurting other people's efforts. I mean, this is a movie that's not already been screened and extremely well received. The Flash, I'm talking about. But we've got like big things going on in this movie outside of Ezra. Like there's a Supergirl from another universe in there. Ezra's playing multiple Flash characters. But then we have the return of Michael Keaton as Batman in there. And it's kind of like the Oscars with Will Smith. Is this all we're going to remember now from this Flash movie, even while we're watching it? Because I'll tell you what, even as I was watching Dark Knight, as I was loving every second of it, when I was watching Dark Knight in the first time in the theater, I couldn't help but think about Heath Ledger being dead the whole time, you know? So let me look at some of these comments I got from my boy here. Yeah, so you're agreeing with me, The Flash. Thought he was good on there. And then he's saying he can't handle fame. Okay, so that's going to lead me to my other thing here, or one of the other things I want to talk about. I think that by the looks of these pictures, and I'm just going to kind of go through some of them again, I think that he was really eating up this side of fame. But I think as much as you can participate in all these cool things and be this sort of guy, I mean, you're on the cover of all kinds of magazines, you're playing significant roles. And I'm not, I just mentioned franchise roles. Let's not even forget about perks of being a wallflower after school. We need to do something about Kevin. I mean, done some really, really good roles. Ezra's a great actor. But I feel like, and I don't want to point any fingers or say anything here like that, because I don't have the facts. I don't know him and I don't know these people in their situation, but all these things that have happened consistently, I feel like if I was Ezra's friend, I would maybe be questioning a little bit of your mental health. Like, is something a little off with you? Um, do you see things on the same rational level as most of the other rational human beings on the planet? Or are you a little out there? I don't know that for sure. I'm not saying that for sure, but I have to bring that question up because it seems like that. It feels like that he is off. Something's wrong. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I mean, can you imagine if something happens? What if I don't want to put anything bad out there or any bad negative energy. But what happens if this girl turns up dead or something? I mean, oh my God. Can you imagine? Holy shit. I mean, I don't know if we've had something like that in Hollywood if for a long time. I mean, I'm sure that there's something we could bring up. I think the Robert Wagner and Christopher Walken thing, that's a little weird with the Natalie Wood thing and her falling off the boat, apparently. Um, Let me see. I got another comment here. And you're saying drugs possibly. Look, I think that he's been kind of avid about or outspoken about drugs, especially like psychedelics and stuff. I think that he's been pretty much like, hey, oh yeah, I'm into like, shrooms and things like that, which look, I I think that if you're in Hollywood, you're into something. Now, whether it just be weed, whether it be getting all up into coke, but whatever your nature is in real life, when you get into Hollywood and you become successful, whatever your temptations are, those are going to be found by the evil of Hollywood, if you will. Like, so if you're someone that loves that feeling of like being amped up and you love energy, somehow or another, coke's going to find its way to you. If you're somebody like me, when I was into my drinking days, if like I would have found some crazy drinking spots and done some crazy things with some people, which leads to other things when you're drunk and you don't make good decisions. Um, now at a place where I am, if I was there, I would just find the best bud around, and I'd get in with that crowd because that's where I am in my life now. I'm much more chill. I'm much more positive and work oriented. I want to move forward, and I would find that crowd. And look, there's an addiction in that too. Point I'm trying to make is that if you're in that world, you have some sort of vice, and it could be being addicted to work even. But I think that you do have some sort of vice. Some people lose it. You know, my buddy as Maniac just brought up a good point. Maybe he can't handle the fame, and maybe that fame is tipped him over to a point that was sort of already there. It uncovered something that was already there, and then just sort of brought it to light because of the fame being maybe so much pressure. I don't know. We're not him, but it is a crazy situation. I mean, and I just don't know what else to say. um, oh, hey, love you too, buddy. Um, but you know, one of the things I also, like I said, that I'm really concerned about with this, obviously, I'm concerned about him. I'm concerned about the girl for sure. And this is her. And what's so awkward is they met when she was 12. Now, I don't know what kind of connections to the Native American community or wherever this location, whatever this specific reservation or this group or community was. I don't know if he had an actual involvement with that, if he has roots in that, what? I mean, I really don't know anything because it's kind of hard to find some information out. All I know is that he's known this girl since he was since she was 12, which makes him like, I mean, I think he's in his mid 20s and they've known each other for like 6 or 7 years now. So she's 18 now. So it's just, it is an awkward age, no matter the way you look at it. I mean, the way he is now, maybe it's not so awkward the age he is now for her being 18, but it's definitely awkward when she's 12 and him sort of grooming her, which is what he's being accused of. And they're saying that she's been brainwashed. They're even saying that there's physical abuse and drugs involved with her, like him drugging her. I mean, the parents are really saying a lot. But this is a picture of her own Instagram post, which some are saying she didn't seem believable. Like some are saying that it looked like maybe she was just brainwashed. I don't know. But like I said, there's nothing normal about it. I mean, I'd like to just sit here and say, oh, kids can do whatever, and look, if Ezra met an 18-year-old girl for the first time when she was 18, 27 is what Ezra is or whatever. That's not so crazy. You guys meet, there's stardom involved because Ezra's famous. And I think that maybe she's trans too. So I really don't even know how to refer to her or them, but it can become a little complicated to naturally say it. But Ezra grooming her from a young age, it just makes it a little too weird. I'm sorry, it just seems awkward. And the other thing is what this is doing to, we're talking about a $200 million movie here with the Flash. So, and the Flash is not only its own thing, while DC is still making all its other solo projects here and there that are not related to anything else, which by the way, I don't know if you guys know the news. I just got to throw this in there. Lady Gaga just signed on for Joker 2 with Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix, which they swore they weren't going to do one when the first one came out. But you know what? How is this going to affect everything else? Because there's buzz that Affleck might be back on board. There's buzz that they are going to do Henry Cavill as Superman again because the new management team that's involved at Warner Brothers and controlling DC, which because Toby Emmerich stepped down, they're wanting this original crew because they said they want to focus on their core characters, which right here on this picture, this is their core characters right there. So the possibilities of what Ezra is doing to not only the Flash movie, which was a $200 million movie that involved all these other people, including the return of Michael Keaton as Batman, but we got a whole universe and a franchise shoot from this that it's affecting, like it's just, Ezra, you got to get your Shiite together, come to the cops, do something, make this to where it's not weird and creepy. Like it's just I don't know what else to say about it because it is weird and creepy. Now there are uh, remarks or stories talking about a few years ago that the family let Dakota go to London with Ezra. So there's all kinds of questions being raised about them as well, but there's questions being raised about her. There's questions being raised about Ezra himself. I mean, and look, when you have photos like this one, let me get to this one photo, which is just it's a little strange. I mean, it's a little strange the setting. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's in hundreds of $1 million movies, who has millions of dollars himself. It's just a weird setting, and he's got this toy dinosaur and this other. It's just weird. Sorry, it's just really strange photo. Let me look at some of these comments here. Yeah, he said he's a living DC villain, could be the Joker. No kidding, dude. Like this, what he's doing is so like random Joker, or what they are doing is so random Joker esque, like what the Joker character does. Like in the old, there's a story that's called The Joker in the comics, written by Brian Azzarello, and the Joker's super random, like going down the street and just doing random things and just whatever pops in his head, he does. I feel like that is what Ezra's doing. You're saying no way Affleck will be back. LOL, Batman's bottom dollar. All right. So look, at the end of Flash, what they're saying is they have it open-ended. They have, because Affleck is in Flash. You know that, right? Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton are both in Flash. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention Ben Affleck again. But now he doesn't have as significant as role as Keaton. But Affleck is back as his version of Batman in the Flash. But they apparently leave it a little open-ended at the end of that movie to where it gives the option and possibility for Affleck to come back. So we'll see when we all see the movie. If we see the movie, I mean, do you think it's going to go to theaters? Is it going to go straight to streaming? I mean, it could. With this, I mean, it's just, they can't reshoot the movie. They just can't. Because it'd be one thing if it was like Paul Walker in the Fast and Furious 7 film, where he's in the movie, but he's not in every scene. There's a lot of other characters there, the arcs that have been built at that point that you're focusing on, including Vin Diesel's character. But with this one, he's in every scene, and he plays multiple Flashes that are in the same scenes. So that's like, that would be so expensive for them to just reshoot. And I just don't know. And yes, as Maniac asked, is it complete? And it is complete. I think it's in some post-production right now as far as effects that are being polished and things like that. But as far as the film itself, yeah, I mean, they've already screened it and it's getting great reviews, like getting awesome responses. People were very happy with it. Because look, that's another thing I want to bring up. Andrew Muschietti is an amazing director. He's phenomenal. What he did with it was exceptional. I don't think that anybody else could have done what he did with those movies. I do like the first one better than the second one. The second one was a little too long, and a little at the end, it got a little too CG happy for me at the end. However, the movie is still badass, It Chapter 2, but the first It is a masterpiece, in my opinion. His first It. But I mean, I feel sorry for him. Like, golly, I really feel sorry for Andrew Muschietti because look at him. You could tell he was excited to do this movie. He's put his heart and soul into this. You know he has, because he doesn't not do that with films. You can tell the way it was made and what came out with it, that he really dove into that. And I know he dove into this movie. And it's just, Ezra, you're messing it up for everybody. Yeah. Let me see what else we got here. You said, is this the equivalent of powder for Disney? Well, I mean, I guess it could be, but I think the powder thing with that director, because the same guy who did Jeepers Creepers, Victor, you could probably remember the name. It's a weird Victor Solis. Anyways, this is an ongoing thing right in the middle of it that everybody's dressing. But it's funny you mentioned that. As of right now, Warner Brothers hasn't addressed this specific situation. as far as the last few things that have happened, that bar fight and all that stuff, Warner Brothers says, no, we're going to we're keeping him as the Flash. We're still moving forward. But she said, Victor Freeze. Yeah. Come on, Victor Freeze. No, Warner Brothers said before this thing with Dakota happened, Warner Brothers said that they're sticking with Ezra as Flash. They have no intentions of getting rid of him, which is all right. So listen to this. They fired Johnny Depp based on a foreign lawsuit that had happened that finally got closed that the court sided with Amber Heard in, which was one that their laws are way different than American laws. But then that one was such a it was the counts against Johnny Depp of what she actually got on that side of it were so nothing compared to what he actually won on his case over here. But Warner Brothers fired Johnny Depp right after that small little case that was overseas, which was not the main trial. And then with this one, now don't get me wrong, Johnny Depp still got his money, but he lost his reputation. He lost the roles in the Fantastic Beasts and stuff like that as Grindelwald. But with this, we've got Ezra Miller and Amber Heard both still not fired. Now, from what I've understood, Amber Heard is significantly cut out of Aquaman 2 as far as her time and her importance to the film and plot and all that stuff. That's what I've heard. I don't know because the movie's not out yet, but they apparently have just in a weird way edited her character out of the main part of the movie to a way to where we won't see her anymore in any other films. Now, I'm not sure that that's the actual case, but I think that would kind of be the case. But they still haven't come out and said that they're firing her, and they still haven't come out and said that they're doing anything about Ezra Miller. In fact, they've said, no, we're going to let him just keep doing these things. And something else happens now, and they've yet to come out and say anything. I'm not calling Warner Brothers out, guys. I'm not calling y'all out at all. Please let me get that clear. It's just a little strange. It seems a little weird that these two people are keeping their jobs, and it's just strange. And I need Ezra to come out, man. I need you to just come back, turn yourself in, and comply. And first off, this little order that the court was going to put on him was only a 30-day order. It wasn't even a full permanent thing. It was temporary. So the fact that he's still just oh, he's like the Flash. He's on the run, or excuse me. God dang it. That's sorry. I'm not meaning to do that. It's just, I'm trying to get used to it, but they are on the run now. It just doesn't make any sense to me, especially since it was a temporary 30-day thing. All you had to do is just accept the order and it would have been fine. But now all we can think about with this Flash movie now is this little situation. So I just wanted to do a little cast about this, guys. Wanted to talk about it for a second. And I'm probably going to be doing another stream tomorrow about something. We'll see. Maybe it'll be an Ezra update. But I just, like I said, wanted to get this rolling. And I think I'm going to try to do 3 streams a week now, on top of doing other things with Andrew, might do I think we're going to try to do an episode 4 and 5 sometime this week of Obi-Wan spoiler talk, just what we're thinking about it, because 5's coming out this tomorrow. So we'll see about that. Not fully happy with that show at all, but we'll hopefully 5 and 6, it can redeem itself. But anyways, guys, what do you think about Ezra Miller? Do you think this is weird as I do? I think everybody thinks it's weird. And are you still excited about The Flash? Are you going to go see The Flash even if something bad happens? Do you think this is going to ruin the Flash movie? Is The Flash going to go to HBO Max now? I mean, I'm just curious what your thoughts are. So anybody have any thoughts, put it in the comment section. It'll still show up in YouTube later on if you want to comment on this video later. But hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. And hit that like button if you enjoyed it. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button too, so you can help us make it to the top. And as always, guys, life gives you lemons, make some hot, fresh popcorns.